This video shows one of the planes operated by Southwest being towed after landing.
Yeah, it was only for a few hours, but at one point the U.S. was the only world power still allowing pilots to fly the 737 MAX 8. This was the type of plane that crashed just after takeoff in Ethiopia and 5 months ago in Indonesia. Today, President Trump ordered airlines to ground them.
Boeing is an incredible company. They are working very, very hard right now. And hopefully they'll very quickly come up with the answer. But until they do, the planes are grounded.
We're covering this story from all angles, following updates from each of our hometown airlines, American and Southwest. We want to start with Tiffany Liu, live at Love Field. Tiffany, no airline buys more of the 737 MAX than Southwest. This has got to be a huge blow to the airline.
Yeah, Chris, and my understanding is that Southwest actually has over 200 more of these planes on order, so I'm sure the company is feeling an effect from this. But in terms of passengers, a lot of people are still flowing in right now. They are ready to take their flight tonight. Southwest tells us that currently less than 5% of their flights daily are on the Boeing 737 MAX 8. And as soon as President Trump made that announcement this afternoon, the company says they are complying immediately. All 34 737 MAX planes are being grounded as we speak. Now, as they're landing back here at the Southwest home base, the planes are being towed away. In fact, one flight landed not too long ago. I spoke to a woman who was on that flight. She tells me she actually flew to Las Vegas and back knowingly on a 737 MAX 8.
No, I wasn't at ease. Coming back, I thought, I made it the first time, I'll make it this time. But when we hit that wind, then it was a little nerve-wracking. You have to wonder, is it really the wind or is it really the plane?
The Southwest released a statement saying, quote, while we remain confident in the MAX 8 after completing more than 88,000 flight hours, accrued over 41,000 flights, we support the actions of the FAA and other regulatory agencies and governments across the globe. Now, any Southwest customers that are booked on one of these canceled flights can rebook at no fee and no charges. Of course, you always want to check the status of your flight before you come to the airport. Back to you, Chris, Marie.
All right, Tiffany, thanks. For some perspective, Dallas-based Southwest flies 34 of the MAX 8. Fort Worth-based American Airlines has 24, and United has 14.
Speaking of American, let's get to Bradley Blackburn live at DFW International. Bradley, how is this affecting folks who fly American?
Chris, not a lot of disruptions right now. Here at DFW, we count a little bit over a dozen cancellations up on the big board, but that's not necessarily related to this ground stop for the 737 MAX 8. As Marie mentioned, American has 24 of these planes after Southwest. That's more than any other U.S. carrier, but that is 24 planes out of 1,500 in their entire fleet. And the airline says that those aircraft fly about 85 flights a day. Now, they are already working to rebook any passengers that are affected by this stoppage. But this afternoon, we spoke to a travel agent who said there will almost certainly be ripple effects from this. And this kink happens at a time when planes are already full with spring break travelers.
They are rebooking. They'll put you on another flight, but that doesn't mean it's going to be today. It doesn't mean it's going to be tomorrow. It doesn't mean it's not going to be at 5 a.m. Or 7 p.m. So they'll get you on another flight, but it doesn't always mean it's going to meet what you need for your travel plans.
Many of the American MAX 8 planes fly in and out of Miami, so it could affect people who are traveling for cruises in particular. Now, the airline says that if your flight is canceled, you can get a full refund by going to their website. But if you need to make travel plans, that agent we spoke to said that the very best thing to do is the old-fashioned way. Pick up the phone and talk to a real person with the airline. Call them directly, even if you have to wait. And Chris, Marie, a lot of people could have to make that call, potentially thousands of passengers, because we just don't know how long this ground stop will last.
Wow, good perspective. Thank you, Bradley. It took a lot to get to where we are today. The first crash involving the MAX 8 was last October when a Lion airplane crashed just after takeoff in Indonesia. A few days later, the black box revealed problems with airspeed indicators. And then last Sunday, the same kind of plane went down in Ethiopia again just after takeoff. And the next day, China and Indonesia grounded the MAX 8. The UK, France, Austria, and Germany were next. And finally today, Canada and the U.S. decided to join that ban until officials learn more about what's gone wrong.
And why go with the 737 MAX? Well, they can fly farther and carry more people than previous generations of the 737. There are 387 of them in operation worldwide, according to Boeing. And as we said earlier, Southwest Airlines has bought more of them than any other carrier.
Of course, we're going to continue to watch for new developments and the ripple effects of this decision. Stick with us for continuing coverage on WFAA.com.